Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackie and I hope you're all having a great day today. We are on day number 24 of 25 days of Christmas. It is officially Christmas Eve and I'm stressed. Still have so much last minute stuff to do because I procrastinate 24/7. I don't know why I do this to myself every year, but I do. If anyone else out there procrastinates until literally Christmas Eve to get the rest of their Christmas stuff done, comment it down below and let me know. I'm not the only terrible person in the world. But as you can see, I brought in the mini Christmas tree for this occasion. It's been out in the tiny home this whole time, but I decided it'd be pretty fitting to have it in here today. Just want to remind you guys that today and tomorrow are the last days to get the merch that is up on my site right now. After that, everything's being wiped clean, and on January 1st, I have new merch dropping. So if you want any of the designs that are out right now, go get them today while you have the chance. Otherwise, you're never gonna see it again, so. But if you guys are new here, please subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. Even though 25 days of Christmas may be coming to an end, I'm still gonna be posting 3 days a week and you don't wanna miss out on any of that. But today I am going to be telling you guys my worst Christmas experience, and yes, it has to do with something paranormal happening, of course. And this is when I was a lot younger and didn't really know what was going on fully, and I didn't really comprehend it. But my mom actually reminded me of this yesterday and I didn't realize exactly what had happened. And first of all, I completely forgot about this, and second, I didn't really know the extent of it. So when I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell this story. Also, I have Sam here and I thought it'd be fun to talk to him a little bit, see how he's feeling. So we're gonna ask him a couple questions on the Necrophonic app as well. I think I want to start out by asking Sam a couple questions just about how he's doing after the cleansing, because I haven't really asked him anything after I did the cleansing ritual. Yeah, so we're going to be asking Sam how he is doing lately and see if he's excited for Christmas. Also, I haven't used the Necrophonic app or literally anything since I've done the cleansing. See how it goes. If I start feeling any type of way, I'm gonna end it. But I think it should be okay in this instance because I only want to talk to Sam and no one else is permitted in here. I have some forms of protection hanging on the edge of my bed over there and also on the mirror right over there. So nothing bad should be able to come through. But just in case, I only want to talk to Sam. Sam is the only spirit that is permitted in this room. No one else is allowed in here. So Sam, are you here? Wait. I've never heard it silent. Wait 1 second. I just stopped it right now, but I have never heard this thing silent, ever. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Sam, are you here? Hello? Sam? I only want to talk to Sam. Sam, are you excited for Christmas? Yeah. Do you like Christmas, Sam? Oh shit. 1 second. Granny. Hello, Granny. Bye. Oh. Sam, do you like Christmas? Yeah. Okay. Did someone just say Frosty? Do you like Frosty the Snowman? Yes. Was that your favorite holiday show? Yes. Sam, was Frosty the Snowman from your era? Yes. Sam, what year did you pass away? That's very interesting, actually. Okay, Sam, I have another question for you. Do you feel better? Okay, everyone, 1 second. Okay, everyone stop talking, please. Everyone stop talking, please. Please. Sam, do you feel better after I did the cleansing? Yeah. Sam, did it get rid of the evil spirits? Yes. Merry Christmas. And I'll talk to you later, okay, Sam? Alright, bye. Who said my name? Who said my name? Okay. Alright, goodbye, Sam. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. That was very interesting. I'm gonna have to look into Frosty the Snowman and see when the show began, because we still don't know when Sam was born or passed away or his age. So he said Frosty the Snowman is from his era, so I'm gonna look into that. But okay, thank you, Sam, for talking to me. I'm going to rest you on the pillow right here. All right, I feel like that was successful. Definitely feels a lot lighter and brighter doing that compared to when I used to do it before the cleansing in my room. It was a completely different feeling. So this is good news. All right, now that we've talked to Sam, let's get straight into my scary Christmas story. This had to have been when I was around probably 11 or 12 years old. And where I live in California, it's about a 3-hour drive to Las Vegas. And when I was 11 or 12 years old, we decided to go to Vegas for Christmas because I had a tournament there over the Christmas holiday. So my schedule for my tournament was going to be the Friday through Sunday, and then Christmas was on Monday. So we're up there, I do my tournament and everything. Everything's all good. And by the day the tournament ends, it was Christmas Eve. So it was time to drive home, but my family always liked to be somewhere else for Christmas at this time. We used to spend every single Christmas up in Oregon, where my dad's side of the family lives. That's where my dad was born, so we'd always spend Christmas up there. So at this point in life, we were never home on Christmas Day. So since we couldn't be up in Oregon that year and we were in Vegas, my parents wanted to stay overnight in Vegas one more night and wake up there on Christmas morning and then come home. And then another reason why we didn't just go home on Christmas Eve, even though it's a 3-hour drive, is because there's this area you have to drive through getting back to my house called the Grapevine. And it's just like this really long, like, canyon type thing you have to drive through. And sometimes it can get extremely foggy to the point where you can't even see 2 feet in front of you, and it's a very windy road. There's been a ton of freeway pileups in it. It actually gets pretty dangerous in winter when there's snow or rain or fog. So on this specific day, it was extremely stormy out, so the whole Grapevine was gonna be just a thick fog. So since we were already used to just not being home on Christmas morning at this point, my parents were like, okay, well, let's just wait it out so we don't have to drive home at night, and we'll get up in the morning and go home. So we drive out of Vegas, and when you're leaving Vegas and entering into California, there's 2 or 3 resorts on the state line. There's one on one side of the freeway and another resort on the other side of the freeway. And it's super cool there, actually. There's a bunch of clothing outlets inside these resorts, and there's amusement park rides. It's actually really cool. So me and my brother were pretty down to stay overnight there, and we can go on all the rides and shop and do all this stuff. So we check into the hotel without the amusement park rides, which is directly across the freeway. So we could easily just walk across underneath the freeway or however you get there and go on the rides if we wanted to. So it's Christmas Eve. We get to the hotel around 6 or 7 p.m. We check in, and all I remember is walking into this place, and it had a really weird feeling to it. Like, I was kind of uncomfortable even as a little kid. I was just felt kind of scared for some reason. And so we check in and everything, and I can still smell the stench of the cigarettes from this day. We check in, we get our key, we're going up to the room. I remember the elevator being pretty dark and dingy, as well as the hallways being pretty dark and dingy. There was not really much lighting to it at all. It was kind of run down. It just wasn't like a great place, but it would be fine to stay just overnight to wake up in the morning to head home. We get to our room, and like I said, it's nothing special, kind of creepy vibes actually. That's the best way to describe it. It felt kind of creepy in there. Okay, this is gonna sound bad, but I think this was a normal thing to do. I'm not really sure, but a lot of times when we'd go to casinos like this, we'd check in, and then, because the whole downstairs was a casino also, and so we'd check in, and my parents would put me and my brother in the room. But at this point, like, we were older. Like, he was 13 and I was 11, and so we were like fine to be alone, but they'd check us in, we'd go in the room, and then they'd go downstairs for an hour or two to do some gambling and leave us up there by ourselves, which I feel like is kind of normal, but I'm not sure. We're in the room hanging out, and I can never really sit still in general, so being cooped up in a hotel room, I didn't like. I always wanted to explore the floors of the hotels we would stay at and look for vending machines and ice machines, or literally anything fun to do in the hallways. So I remember this night, I was talking to my brother, I'm like, let's go explore the hotel, let's go find a vending machine, let's go do this, let's go do that. And he was just like, no, like, I don't want to. That sounds boring, I don't want to go. I just want to wait until we go to the amusement park. I'm just gonna hang out and watch TV. And so after trying to convince him for a while, he just wasn't down. And so I decided to just go out and do some exploring on my own, literally just on our hotel floor, and try and find a vending machine. So I remember going out of the hotel room and walking around, and it just felt so creepy, and I had this like underlying feeling of being scared, like deep down in my gut, and I didn't know why. And I remember our room was at the very end of the hallway. So if you look to the end of the hallway, there's a big window that looks out over the mountains or whatever, and our door is right next to it. But to get to that elevator, you'd have to walk out of our hotel room, walk all the way down this long hall, turn left, and then turn left again, and that's where the elevator was. So I remember stepping out of my hotel room, looking at the end of the hallway, and seeing this little girl just turning the corner at that exact same moment. She looked around my age, so I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe she wants to hang out, because I was always very friendly. Like, I'd make friends with any kids I would see in this type of situation. So I start walking down the hallway trying to go find her, and I turn around the corner and I can't find her anywhere. So I thought it was a little weird, but I figured she had gone into one of the hotel rooms. So I turn around to start heading back to the main hallway of where our room is. I remember turning the corner and hear this blood-curdling scream come from behind me. And when I heard this scream, I felt my whole stomach drop, and I quick flipped around and no one's there. But it 100% sounded like a little girl. And so at this point, I turn and I just sprint back to the room right away. And I start banging on the door, telling my brother, let me in, let me in, let me in. And of course, being an older brother, he just didn't get up and didn't let me in. And at this point, I'm like about to cry, and finally, he lets me in, and he's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, I just heard this scream and no one was there. And I just remember calling my mom over and over again, and she wasn't picking up because the casino doesn't have good reception, and I'm panicking. And finally she answers, and I tell her I heard this little girl scream and I'm scared, and can you please come back to the room? So eventually they come back to the room and I calm down, we go to the amusement park and have fun and do all that stuff. And then we finally go back to our hotel room that night around, it was probably around 10 o'clock at this point. And so we're in the hotel room. I've completely forgotten about the incident by this time. And I'm laying there, I go to sleep. And then in the middle of the night, I don't even know what time it is. But in the middle of the night, I hear someone knock on the door. And the knock was so loud, it woke me up from sleeping. So once again, I got scared and woke up my mom and said someone's knocking on our hotel room door in the middle of the night. And so she wakes up my dad because she gets scared. And so my dad goes, opens the door, and no one's there. They both say, you must have been dreaming, there's no one there, go back to sleep, it is probably part of your dream and you thought it was real. So hesitantly, I go back to sleep, and I remember falling asleep again. And this time, I wake up to a little girl giggling, and it literally sounded like it was coming from right next to me. So once again, I shoot up in bed, and this time I scream and start crying, and I tell my mom, there's someone in here, I heard a little girl, I heard someone laughing next to me, and my dad gets up, checks around the entire room. Once again, nothing there. At this point, they're getting sick of it. And they're like, go back to sleep. You're just dreaming. What's wrong with you? Go back to bed. So I go back to sleep, and this time I wake up in the morning and everything's fine. So at this point, it's Christmas morning. We pack up all our stuff. We head home. And I honestly completely forgot about this entire thing until yesterday. So yesterday, me and my mom were talking about how it's so crazy that we used to spend all of our Christmases in Oregon and not at our house, and we can't even imagine doing that now because we love being home for the holidays. So we were literally just talking about how we're so happy we're always home for the holidays now. Then I brought up the one time that we spent Christmas Eve in Vegas, and this is what she says to me. She says, oh my gosh, that was such a terrifying night. And I was like, what do you mean it was a terrifying night? And she's like, don't you remember how you kept like saying something about this little girl you heard or saw, and you kept waking up in the night and you were just scared the entire time of this place? And I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of remember like being scared and stuff. But she's like, no, you were like, from when you stepped foot into this hotel, you were terrified, asking to go home, if we could just drive through the night, if we could stay at the other hotel, you just didn't want to be there for some reason. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And this is when she tells me that we were supposed to stay at the other hotel across the street, but they were completely booked out. So we had to settle for the one we ended up staying in. And she really didn't want to stay at this hotel from the very beginning, but it was our only option. And she didn't want to stay there because apparently years before we checked in there, a little girl was unfortunately kidnapped and murdered by some man in that exact hotel on Christmas Eve. And when she told me that, I could not believe it, because all these years I thought that it was just my imagination being crazy and thinking I just like heard some girl scream and it was scary for me for some reason. But literally, this is like 100% true. I literally looked it up, and a little girl was murdered in this hotel that we stayed at. And so my mom was really scared the whole time that something was gonna happen to us, and she was just hesitant about the whole thing and didn't want to stay there. And so when I heard that, I just freaked out because I saw a little ghost girl apparently, and what if she like was trying to play with me or something? I don't know. That just like blew my mind because I don't really remember having any crazy experiences from this age. So hearing that is just like, great. So I've been dealing with this for literally my whole life. And you guys made me feel crazy, but apparently she just didn't want to scare me by telling me that night. But she had really weird vibes there too, and a couple weird things happened to her. So yeah, that's my scary Christmas story for you guys. Why won't my camera focus all of a sudden? But I had to share this just because it's just so perfect for today, and it's honestly terrifying. And now I want to go back to that hotel today and investigate it and see if I can find that little girl. And it's honestly so sad what had happened there, and I feel so bad for her and her family. But I'm gonna wrap it up here because I have nothing else to say. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you leave a big like on it, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And also don't forget to follow me on all my other socials. They're right down there. I hope you all have a great Christmas Eve and Christmas morning tomorrow, and I will be posting a new video tomorrow, so look out for that. But other than all that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.